In this particular question here, students were told to solve the following simultaneous equations, and we're going to see which are the steps you're going to follow in order to solve such kind of simultaneous equations. If you're new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified. So let's dive in so that we can be able to work out this question. Now, we are going to substitute. We are going anywhere. We are going to have x, we're going to substitute 1 minus 6y. So in this case, we're going to say that this expression is going to be 1 minus 6y. Because I'm having an x, I'm going to substitute this guy that I'm having here. So over 2y minus 4y over, instead of writing x, I write 1 minus 6y is equals to -1. Now, once I've done that particular step, the next thing is all through I need to multiply by 1 minus 6y all through. Every term multiply to that. So this is going to be this side and this side. I'm going to multiply by 1 minus 6y, and also this side I'll multiply 1 minus 6y. At that point of time, I'll have to agree, or you have to agree with me, that this part we're having here is going to be 1 minus 6y squared. This time this will be that, over 2y is equals to, if I multiply this term with this term that we have at this point, this will cancel with this particular value. So we are going to remain with 4y at that point is equals to -1 into 1 minus 6y. Once I've done that, again, I'm going to multiply all through by this value that I'm having here, 2y. I'm going to multiply to every term, and if I multiply it here, this is going to be 2y here times 2y there times 2y at that given point. But this and this one is going to cancel out. Then we shall remain the expression being 1 minus 6y raised to power 2 minus, this time this is going to be basically this is going to translate to 8y squared is equals to, this and this will be -2y. So -2y times this will be minus 2y. -2y times this one will be positive 12y squared at that point. So next we are going to expand this part that we have, and this is going to be, whenever you are squaring, just square the, expanding an expression like this, square the first term, and that is going to be 1. Multiply the first term here and this one. What's the answer? That will be -6 times 2, it will be minus 12y. Square this term that we have there, we shall have plus 36y squared. Then we have minus 8y squared is equals to minus 2y plus 12y squared. Now, if we put the like terms together here, we shall have this translating to 24. This minus this will be basically 36 minus that. That will be 28. 28, we subtract 12. That is going to translate to what? 28 subtract 12. We are going to get 16. So we shall have 16y squared. Then let's talk of the y's. Here we have minus 12. And then if this comes here, we're going to have minus 10. Minus 10y. And then we have the value at this point, which is constant 1 is equals to 0. I believe everything is the way it should be up to that particular point. And in order to solve this, you can be able to use a quadratic formula and solve the simultaneous question. So we are going to check if you solve this using a quadratic formula, what are you going to get? And can you check if we can be able to use factorization? Sum is equals to minus 10. Product is going to be equals to 16. Two numbers. And that could be 8, negative, and negative 2. Yeah, you can be able to use that. So this expression now is going to reduce to what? Let's see. If we factorize that, we are going to have this as 16y squared minus 8y minus 2y then plus 1 is equals to 0. We factor out what's common in each of the section here. So this is going to be 8y common, we shall remain with 2y minus 1. And we factor out minus 1, so we shall have 2y minus 1. Let's check here. This is minus. We are factoring out. What are we factoring out here? See if we factor out that, what are we getting? So this is the minus 2y plus 1 is equals to 0. So this is going to be 8y into 2y minus 1, and this is going to be minus 1 into 2y minus 1 is equals to 0. So meaning that we can say this is going to reduce to 8y minus 1 into 2y minus 1 is equals to 0. And then we can say 8y minus 1 is equals to 0, which means that y is equals to 1 over 8. And also 2y minus 1 is equals to 0. So 2y is equals to 1 divided by 2, divide by 2. Y is equals to 1 over 2. And then now when y is 1 over 8, we can be able to find x. So x is going to be equals to 1 minus 6 over, 6 over, or 1 over 8 there, which is going to be 1 minus 6 over 8, which is going to be 2 over 8, which is going to be 1 over 4. This is going to be our x in this case, is going to be giving us 1 minus 6 into 1 over 2, and that is going to be giving us, this will be 3, so this is going to be minus 2 as the final answer. So basically, whenever you are given a question to do with simultaneous equations in additional math, basically that's what you are going to do. If you are new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified. If you're given a question to do with logarithms and you are asked to solve for x in that case, at this point what we're going to say, let log x base 2 be equal to m. That's the first thing that we're going to say. Then we're going to say, therefore, this is going to be m minus 4 is equals to 5 times 1 over m, because you see at this point the base is switched with the number that is here. So if we were having x base 2 and this is 2 base x, then it means they are the reciprocal of each other. So which means that we are going to have this 1 over m because log x base 2 was m. Then if we multiply all through by m, then we are going to have a quadratic equation. This is going to be m squared minus 4m is equals to 5, which is going to translate to m squared minus 4m minus 5 is equals to 0. So which means that we need to find two numbers whose sum is equals to minus 4, but product of the two numbers is equals to minus 5. Which numbers are those? The two numbers are minus, we can say it's 1 and minus 5. The two numbers are 1 and minus 5, so that if you multiply 1 times minus 5, you get minus 5, but 1 plus minus 4 is going to give us a value of minus 4. So this expression can be written as m squared minus 5m plus m, because it's 1m minus 5 is equals to 0 at that point. So therefore we can say this is going to be m minus 5. We can factor m out, plus 1 factored out for these two. We are going to have m minus 5 is equals to 0 at that level. Then we can now go ahead in order to solve for this. So we can be able to say this can simplify to, what's going to be simplified to become m plus 1, m minus 5 is equals to 0 as the equation. Therefore m is equals to 1 negative, because this equals to 0 will give us 1 is equals to m, and this equals to 0, m is equals to what? M is equals to 5. So remember we had said log, we are finding x, we are not finding m. We had said log x base 2 is equals to m. So meaning that we can be able to say log x base 2 is equals to minus 1. In index notation, this is going to be x is equals to this raised to power this, it will be 2 raised to power negative 1, which is equal to 1 over 2. And the second solution is when we have m is equals to 5. So we are going to say log of x base 2 is equals to 5. So this is going to be 2. X is going to be equals to 2 raised to power 5, and that is going to be 32 at that particular point. So whenever you're given a question to do with logarithmic equations, this is the way you are going to do it in additional math. If you are new to Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified.